Hey guys, so it's back. I'm excited. Can you tell? You all didn't even know it was gone. This is my Richard Black cube that I got right after Derby City. It's been gone. Getting some work done on it, and I thought it had been gone since early April, but I looked at my shipping receipt and it was early May, so it's been gone a month and a half and not 85 years like I had kind of been thinking. So I've been playing with the Southwest recently, but this this is my main cube, and I'm excited to get it back. All I gotta do is this is not the box I shipped it in. So while I'm trying to figure this thing out, will regale you guys with what the heck was going on. When I got the key right after Derby, I didn't really look at it. It was in the wall rack. I'm like, yep, I like that. I want it. And Joe Salazar and I did a trade. I did a video about that. And I'll actually put a link to that video at the end of this one. Because one of the things I didn't notice before I got the cube was there was some discoloration on the butt cap. It was discolored with age. It was kind of brownish. Um, what the hell is that? Okay, I don't know what that is. I guess I should look and make sure this is the right freaking thing. It is. Okay. Y'all tell me what the fricky frack that is. I don't know. Some it's a bonus of some thing. So I get the cube and I like the way I play with it. I love the hit on it and all this stuff. But it had this discoloration in the butt cap and it had a brown bumper. I didn't want to take the cue out into public like my local pool hall and have everybody just start vomiting all over the place because of how ugly it was with that discoloration and that brown bumper. So I went to the Richard Black site to see about getting some repairs. What might be? Actually, I asked a couple of people locally, "Hey, what do I do about this?" And after they got done vomiting, they're like, burn it," that type of deal. But I went to Richard Black's page. He doesn't do repairs. He has a coworker or whatever. Scott Gilmore does the repairs for Richard Black. So I got old Scott, called him. Oh, and all this was the end to this tube. I called him. He answered his phone. Nobody ever answers their phone, including me. But Scott answers it every time I've ever called him. And I told him, "Hey, I got this cue. I really like it, but it's making people vomit. And can we fix it?" He's like, "Well, yeah, we can replace the butt cap on the cue." Awesome. And then I also told him, and this was a mistake on my part. I said, "I'm pretty sure the cue has been refinished at some point." A little card for Scott Gilmore, the repair guy. I said, "I'm pretty sure the cue's been was refinished at some point, and the Richard Black signature was removed." And for reading from the site, he won't like re-sign it because he's older now and his shaky hands and all that. So he started putting like an RB logo on the butt caps. I said, "I'd like to get one of those too. I like to get the logo and get rid of that brown. You replace the butt cap with one with the logo." Okay, cool. And after we discussed, okay, how much? We talked about price. It wasn't that much. And how long would it take? And if he had told me 6 months, it would not have surprised me even a teeny tiny bit. But he said 2 weeks. Well, shit, yeah, do it. Let's ship it. So this is the case that I shipped it in. Okay, there's a tube. Like I said, early May. So I second day aired it with insurance, and I prepaid for second day air return with the insurance. He gets the queue, and I don't know, a while later, it seemed like 5 years, but it was probably more like 5 days. He sends me a picture. He did not have to replace the butt cap. He sanded it down, cleaned it up, and all that, and made it look good. And he sent me pictures. Oh, and he also replaced the brown bumper with a black one, as that also requested. Sent me pictures, and I'm like, yeah, freaking looks awesome. Looks awesome. And so this is the first time I've seen this cue since I shipped it. So this is all white and a black bumper, where it used to be brown with a brown bumper. And if you're brave enough, click on the link at the end of this video that'll show the old unboxing, and you can kind of tell it just looked gross. So he sends me these pictures. Yeah, it looks freaking fantastic. And okay, what are the next steps? What are the next steps? Because I wanted to get the Richard Black logo on it as well. I also wanted to see if I could get a little bit more of an idea of how old it is. I've mentioned Joe Salazar said he, probably like around 1980. Well, we just weren't really sure. Said, well, if anybody would know, Richard Black would know. So Scott said he had to have Richard Black authenticate the cue, say, yep, I made that cue, and then he could give a date, and Richard Black would also approve putting the RB logo on the butt cap. Okay, fine, I'll wait. No, I got other cues I can shoot with. A while later, Scott calls me back, and he says, I thought it was a little bit weird, but that's perfectly fine. It surprised me. Richard Black would not authorize putting his logo on this. He absolutely knows he built the cue and agreed, yes, he built the cue. But what he said was, when he built this cue, he was not signing it, and he wasn't putting the logo on the butt cap. And as far as he could tell, as far as he would say, this cue's never been refinished. If that's the case, I don't know if the previous owner ever hit a ball with it, because this thing is in brand new condition. So I was a little bit disappointed by not being able to get some kind of a logo or something. But I was like, hey, how did Richard say, how long ago it was? Or when the cue was made? And he said, oh, I'll have to ask him again. So it was made during a period when there was no signature, no logo, but I wanted to see if we could just narrow it down. Just curious. At this point, I really thought he could just ship the cue back to me, but he didn't. He wanted to wait to get all the information that I asked for. So it seemed like it took a while this time around, but he finally gets back. And he calls me up, a week or so ago, and he says, Dave, I got some bad news. Okay, what? Your house burned down, including my cue? No, it wasn't anything like that. He said that, I guess in the past, Richard Black's shop, old shop, whatever, it had some flood damage, and a lot of the records were lost from that time period. But what Richard was able to tell him was that the guy I bought this cue from, or got this cue from in a trade, Joe Salazar, he was just able to say he'd never sold the cue to Joe Salazar. So it was funny to me, because I know who Joe Salazar is, and Richard Black does, but I guess Scott didn't really know who Joe Salazar is, buys and sells used cues. And the impression I got was he was trying to break the news gently to me that this cue may be stolen because Joe did not buy it from Richard Black. No, I knew that. I'd be astonished if Joe was the original owner of this cue, because I think he would have mentioned that to me when I got it from him. Somebody bought it. Maybe somebody else, maybe somebody else, maybe somebody else. Eventually Joe got it, and then I got it. So no, it's not a stolen cue or anything. I thought it was funny, and of course I see Joe every year at Derby City. I certainly know who he is. I think I just assumed that the rest of the world knew who he was as well, but apparently not. So we got that straightened out, and I thought, okay, ship the cue back to me now. Another week or two went by, and remember, I had prepaid for return shipping and return insurance. And when I shipped the queue, they printed out the return label and all that was supposed to have been stuck in the box by the people at the UPS store. Scott couldn't find it. When he got to where he was ready to ship this back to me, he could not find that label. Now, enough time had passed, maybe it had been misplaced at his end. I'm thinking it's probably more likely that the UPS store people just didn't do it. They forgot. A bunch of young, like junior high kids working at the UPS store these days, it seems like. And I think they probably just forgot. So we went back and forth, hell, for 3 or 4 days, where I gave them the tracking number, and customer service told him, "Oh yeah, that's all we need." But then he went into his actual store, and they said, "No, no way in hell we're printing that thing out. You're some kind of a scammer or something." So I scanned the receipt and all this and sent that to him. And he talked to customer service, and they're like, "Yeah, you're awesome. Just go in the store and they'll print you out a label." And he goes in the store and they're like, "No way in hell, you scammer." Um, so what I ended up having to do was go back to my original store and say, "Hey, I don't know what happened, but this guy's ready to return this item to me, and it doesn't have the label that we were supposed to have stuck in the box originally. He doesn't have it. Either it didn't get in the box or it's been misplaced." Because, there's been like 5, 6 weeks at this point. The junior high kid that's working there at UPS store, of course, he gets on with his manager. I'd asked for a manager when I first walked in because I knew this was going to be a manager thing, but the manager wasn't, on site. So he gets on the phone with his manager. And somewhere between 2 hours and 5 years, he's on the phone with his manager. Every now and then pausing to ask me questions. Where's it coming from? What is it? All this kind of stuff. Well, okay, it's all on your freaking computer, but I repeated it all to him. And eventually, he printed me out a new shipping label. Um, did not charge me again. I was really expecting them to try to charge me again for something. Maybe not necessarily for the whole shipment or the insurance, but charge me 50 cents for the paper they printed the label on or something like that. And I would have fought that because I prepaid for all this. He didn't. He did not. They did not even hint at trying to charge me anything above what I had already paid in early May. So that was cool. No, I took that shipping label and I scanned it in, emailed it back to Scott. This was maybe like last Thursday or something. I haven't heard back from Scott, but I have the queue. So it just got shipped. And of course, I could check the website and I saw when it was in transit and all that. So here it is. And I am excited. I'm going to get the shaft back out of the case, put it back on. This is going to be my main queue, unless it proves otherwise. I was playing quite well with this before. I had that whole March Madness thing. If you all watching my other videos, I was playing really well with this before I did all the March Madness stuff, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to play with this, and I'm going to play well again. It's one of the nice things about all this delay that's happening and all these. I don't know. It seems like a lot of trouble to have to go to ship a queue off and get it back. But odds are I'll probably never miss a ball with this queue for the rest of my life, just to make up for the trouble that I've had to go through to get it out there and then finally get it back. Yeah, I hope that's the case. If I never miss a ball, maybe I would get bored with pool but I probably wouldn't get bored with all the money I would have. Bye, guys.